Welcome to 70-461, Querying Microsoft SQL Server 2012. My name is Chris Thorson, and in this class, it's all about learning to talk to that SQL database. Now, this class is the first of a series of 3 that will get you towards the MCSA or MCSE in SQL Server. And what we're going to be doing is just learning the SQL language. Now, there are a bunch of different types of SQL, or SQL, or structured query language. There's Oracle SQL, Sybase SQL, ANSI SQL, MySQL. The one that we're going to be working with is something called Transact SQL, or T-SQL. That's the one that Microsoft uses. And we're going to use it to get data out of the database and put data into the database and create things in the database. We're going to create tables and indexes and queries. And we're going to create views, and we're going to create databases themselves. We're going to create all kinds of objects. So when we take a look at here, we're going to not only be looking at SQL 2012, but we're also going to work with the SQL Server Management Studio. And we can see that SQL is not just one application. It's actually a suite or a collection of applications, starting with the database engine itself. That's the thing in the background that actually talks to and manages the databases. And you'll see the service running and manages the databases. But we have to talk to that engine somehow. So we have a number of components. We have analysis and reporting services. We have integration services when you want to have all kinds of different sources of data coming together or different applications coming together. And then there's something new called the Master Data Services. When you have all kinds of applications and data sources and whatnots everywhere in your enterprise, the Master Data Services maintains consistency and integrity of the data across your entire collection, across your entire enterprise. There are various versions of SQL 2012, as there always have been in the past. We have Enterprise Edition. This allows you to do the complex analysis and reporting, the big data warehousing and data mining. This is for mission-critical, high-availability, enterprise-wide deployments. There's Business Intelligence. This is a new version. And Business Intelligence is mostly for self-service corporate business intelligence. Makes it very easy to visualize your data. There's Good Old Standard, which is just your basic SQL with all your basic components. There's Web, and Web is really only for ISPs that manage databases that face the internet. They run on a special license because you never know how many people are going to connect. So Web is for internet-facing databases. There's Developer, if you are a SQL developer, and then there's the free download Express. And if you want to play along with what we're doing in here, independent of any other lab or exercise you might have, you can download for free Microsoft SQL Express. And if you do want to download it, then get the SQL Express with tools, because there are a bunch of different versions of SQL Express. So get SQL Express with tools and get either the 32-bit or the 64-bit, whichever is appropriate. You can even run it on Windows 7 or Windows 8. You don't need Server 2012 to run it. There are a bunch of built-in tools. When you install SQL, you don't just have one application, just one tool. There are a lot of tools, and you'll notice that you'll see all of these tools that you can launch. We're only really going to use one. There's the Management Studio itself. We use that to manage the server and to open a query window. There's the Business Intelligence Development Studio, or SQL Server Data Tools, the SSDT. We use this to develop applications that have to do mostly with reporting and analysis. There's the SQL Profiler, and the Profiler allows us to tune our queries, which is really beyond the scope of this class. We're going to be doing a lot of querying, but we're not going to really worry so much about performance tuning. We'll dabble in it a little bit. There is the SQL Server Configuration Manager. This manages the services themselves and the protocols between servers and clients. There's also the Database Engine Tuning Advisor, and we can use this to create partition and indexes. There's the Data Quality Client, and this thing monitors whenever there's data transformation and data cleansing, that monitors that. And then there are the different connectivity components between servers and clients. The primary tool that you will probably use if you are a SQL administrator, and even if you're a developer, is the SQL Server Management Studio. And when you install it, when you launch it, this is the first splash screen that you see. It's the primary tool we'll be using in this class. This is what it looks like. You notice that it opens up here and you can resize these windows. And you'll see right here that you can choose the database that you want to work with. We're going to work with something called AdventureWorks LT 2012. It's just a learning database. You can see the different servers that you're connected to, what we call the registered servers. You can see when you click a specific database or a specific server, it's something called the Object Explorer. So for a particular server that we're connected to, we can see the databases, and then we can open the databases, drill down and see the tables, see the views, see security. We see the query window itself right over here where we enter queries, and then we see where the messages and the results come in. There's also the standard toolbar up on top, and then the SQL editor toolbar just below that. And then we have this whole output window down below. As I had said, when we type something, we get some kind of response. We can see the status of the management server services itself, the management studio itself, and we can see the status of the query window itself as well. In the query window, when we type, will look something like this. And we're going to see when we type that what we type in will have different colors depending upon what it is that we're typing. Is it a keyword? Is it a command? Is it a string? What is it? And so these different colors will help us to make sure we're typing the right things. So shall we get started with actually working with Transact SQL?